Hello. Whoops. Just gotta move my mic around a little bit. Hello, SolarLoon here. How's everyone feeling? Let's see here. So, hi. This is a stream that I do every so often. Actually, let me restart Blender, I guess. This is a stream I do every so often basically every week, 2 streams a week, and I do game development, pixel art, music, all that kind of stuff. Lots of different kinds of things. Oh, it looks like that's strange. Blender's not showing up. Okay, let me make sure that I turn on V-syncing so that it actually does not horribly come back to bite me. Let's see. Matt Davis and his atomic roller skate says, "I've never heard of Gearend. Looks a lot like Unity. Gearend is a game. Yeah, Gearend is a game I'm making. The engine is called BDX. That's the way I titled the stream is Gearend Engine and Game Dev Stream, because it's the engine behind Gearend. So I guess I'll change that to maybe BDX. Well, I guess, I don't know. I'll just do something like that. I don't know. Something to that effect. So I'll show Gearend and be working on that as well, but currently I figured it'd be easier to just kind of work on the engine first. So the thing I'm working on today is basically unlocking the frame rate of the engine. It's locked to 60 FPS currently. Excuse me. It's locked to 60 FPS currently, and yeah, we're gonna look into kind of getting that solved today, hopefully. Let's hear some music. That's dumb loud. Let's see. Let's see. It's loud on my end, I guess. Let's go for maybe like, yeah, somewhere around there. And let's go for something kind of quiet. I guess I can just leave it to go. Well, no, I can't leave it to go because I have to explain. I have to say which songs I'm playing. So let's go with Withdrawal by Twist Boy. Okay. So Lucretius, hello. He says, what's the main problem with unlocking the FPS? Well, currently the FPS is locked to 60 FPS by default all the time. So that's what I was working on now, is basically allowing you to choose a different FPS value. So I've got it working. This spinner here controls it, and it's something that is in Blender already because of its existing game engine. So I'm just using that to select the frame rate for the engine. So you can see it. I press play, it starts loading. Pulls up a Gradle daemon and runs desktop run on Gradle. So 60 FPS here, which is good. And then we can change the FPS here to something higher, and it should naturally automatically adjust. Yeah. Now it's 120 FPS. And I think it is working. It's kind of hard to tell because I don't have, let's see. Yeah, okay, 500 FPS. And it seems like it's working because the different categories are like really pushing. So I feel like it is actually like much higher. It is, doing more work than usual. So I feel like it is working correctly. Yeah, it can't hit 1,000. Looks like that's about it. 900 and some change, which is pretty good. Yeah, Lucretius says you're not unlocking it. You're just allowing people to set it to another constant amount. Yeah. And ideally, I'm also making it so that if the frame rate drops unexpectedly, what? Where did that come from? I'm making it so that if the did I do something here? Or? Okay. I'm making it so that if the frame rate does drop, it should basically not actually drastically impact the game. Like, it should still be playable. So let's see. So if I set the FPS to a high value, and it'll show up basically the same for you if you're watching the stream or the recording, because I'm just gonna do it at 30 FPS because this is gonna be a lot of coding and stuff. Okay, so this seems to be dropping at a defined. This seems to be correct. Now I need to basically try to get it to tank in terms of CPU. So let's see. This is just gonna... Yeah, okay, now all of a sudden it's dropping heavily. Very good. So this is basically moving it very, very slightly on the x-axis 1 million times a frame. So that transformation alteration should be enough to tank the CPU sufficiently to actually like be able to see it. Seems like it's going down to like maybe 4 FPS or something. So let's go for something a little lighter so I can see actually what it's supposed to look like. Okay, so it's just flying across the screen. Let's go for really minuscule amounts that the gravity shouldn't basically change. Okay. Yeah. So now if we do that, that should basically kick the FPS down considerably. Yeah. But see, now it's running slowly. So that's what we want to avoid, is basically it running slowly. It's running at like a third of the FPS it should be. And the physics are, or no, it's supposed to be running at 100 and it's running at 20. So it's running at a fifth of the FPS it should be. So what we want the gravity to do is basically compensate. So I think we can actually increase the sub-steps. I think I have this set up correctly, so it should work. Let's see. Kind of. It's running slowly still. But it kind of might work. Let's see. I need to test this somehow, so let's see if this works. Okay. So what I'm doing basically, well, the substeps number ties into the physics engine. How many substeps it takes per frame to properly simulate the 3D physics world. And this basically allows the physics engine to kind of compensate. Oh, it stops at 5. That's weird. This basically allows it to compensate and kind of control like how often the physics engine updates, as well as how often the logic execution happens. So, in other words, this should allow for like some level of control for the physics engine to kind of like compensate and run at a lower FPS, but still, you know, have a proper simulation. Let's see. So let's try 20,000. Okay, so now it's definitely slower. It's running at 30, 40, 50, 60, 70. Yeah, it's running at sub 100 FPS. But I feel like it might be running at the same speed. Okay, let's see. 1,000, 1,000. So it's roughly like 1.5 seconds before it hits the ground. So let's try this now. Yeah, I think that's right. 1,000, 2, 1,000. Yeah. That's like, it's roughly about the same amount of time between when this box starts dropping, when it hits the ground, at 100 FPS or at sub 100 FPS. Okay, that's good. That's good. Let's keep pushing it a little bit, see what the results look like. Okay, 18 FPS. Yeah. Alright. So it does seem to be working. Very nice. So let's see if we can kind of get a quick comparison going. This is unlocked tick rate or customizable. And delta time. 874. So what I'm doing here is basically I am a contributor to this engine, to BDX, and so I'm like setting this up so that I can push this to my home repo for consideration as a PR, because it would be nice to have it. Lucretia says you might want to use an actual timer instead of eyeballing it. Yeah, I could, but I mean there's not really a huge reason not to eyeball it. Like, from my perspective, it's like, if it's gonna be off, it's gonna be wildly off. It's very unlikely that I would get, like, you know, 1 second in a normal situation, and then when you go ahead and test it with the FPS dipping, it's gonna be, you know, 1.2. It's like, you know, if it's gonna be off, it's gonna be way off. It's not gonna be, you know, slightly off. But okay, we can try a timer. Wait. I guess we don't really have to do it like this. We can just do it like this. Okay. We say if touching T. Lucretia says it's only dropping for 1 second, so the difference if it's off is not going to be that big anyways. Well, kind of. I mean, like, if it's gonna be slow, it could be slow by, you know, like we were seeing it's like 18 FPS versus 100 FPS. That's like less than a fifth in terms of speed. So if I measure this to be roughly, you know, a second and a half between dropping and touching the ground, if it's going to be off, like if it were off, it would be like 5 or 6 seconds, because we're timing basically how long it takes to hit the ground running at 100 FPS versus like 18 FPS. So if it's like close, if it's like 1.5 seconds versus 1.52 seconds, it's like, you know, that's fine. The only problem basically is when it's like 1.5 seconds versus 5. Like that's what we're trying to solve. So what this application, or what the application for this idea is, basically, if I'm playing Gearend on a computer that's running at 30 FPS, it should not run at half speed. Like, it shouldn't play at half speed. It should play, you know, roughly the same way. And the way to kind of help this out is to allow for delta timing, which is necessary for this idea, where basically the entire game, movement, animation, all that stuff is dependent on delta time rather than an assumed fixed time step, an assumed speed of 60 FPS. So that if someone's running at a slower speed, they can still play the game, basically. Because if it's not delta time, if you hit like 40, if you hit like 53 FPS, it's basically unplayable, because that's like 10%. It's only 7 frames. 6 frames, I guess, actually. 54 FPS roughly, but 10% is like just molasses. Okay. So, alright, so if you're touching something, then basically we can stop counting. So, boolean counting equals true. Touching. This is not made for Java. Let's see. I think I can do it like that. Let's see. Oh, I committed that, didn't I? Whoops. Alright, well, that's fine. I think it's supposed to... I think it's working, so I think we'll be good. Let's see. If counting t equals bdx time. Touching counting as well as counting. Okay, so system.out print line t. Okay, so... Alright, 1.8. 1.8 seconds. I hit Blender's close instead of... or maybe the terminal's close. I meant to hit the game's close. Alright, well, whatever. We'll be back in a couple seconds. Okay, so... while this is starting, it was 1.8 seconds. So then we're going to... I guess adjust it in a couple of ways. Kind of test it in a couple of ways. So, think 2.04, so it's not going to be exactly correct because just different frame rates is going to be varying a little bit. 1.6, 1.6, 1.6, okay, so 1.6 seems to be about it. 1.57, okay. Now, let's try this. Also, let's write this down somewhere. Alright, so it's 1.6. This is 100 FPS, and no. This is like. Let me record that again. Actually, I need to get the FPS value so I can kind of understand what exactly is going on. I am Unicorn. Hello, welcome to the chat, or welcome to the stream rather. Yes, this is Java. Okay, so it's 1.4, 1.5. Yeah, 1.43. And we're getting like 19.1 FPS. Okay, so 19.1 FPS. It takes 1.43 seconds. Okay. Now let's go ahead and try this, where we don't impact the FPS at all, and it should be running at 100 FPS now. 1.3, 1.38, 1.37, 1.36, 1.38, 1.36. I guess this is naturally going to be probably on the sooner side of things, because the frames come faster. So this process of time relation is gonna kind of change. Like if this is running at 200 FPS, it's gonna come a little bit faster. Okay, so it's still roughly 1.3, 1.4, yeah, 1.35. Okay. Can I? Oh, 1. This is roughly 100 FPS, and we got 1.34 seconds. Okay. You think you should drop it from a super high height? Okay. .03. Oh wait. Okay. Yeah. All right, that's fine. We can have it like that. Let's try to set up the same setup. I guess I actually probably shouldn't maximize the window because that can kind of change things. Okay, 3.55, 3.50. 3.53, 3.52. Okay, so 3.52 is like 20 FPS. Okay, and then over here, let's go ahead and not like burden the FPS here. .3, 3.38, 3.35. Okay, so we're looking at basically 3.4, 3.35. Yeah, 3.35. Okay. All right, that's not too big of a difference. The difference is a 0.17. Okay, so if you were playing at 100 divided by 20, 1 divided by, wait a second, 20 divided by 100 is 0.2, 1 divided by, I'm trying to think like how many, is that basically just the frames that we're looking at, the difference in frames, frame time. So 1 divided by 100 is 0.01, I guess, times 5, yeah, 5 frames at 100 FPS is equal to 1 frame at 20 FPS. So 5, that's 0.05. So it's like 3 times that. So that's not quite correct. Let's see if it's a matter of substeps. Okay, 3.3, 3.33, 3.31. Okay. And over here, let's try burning it again, logic-wise. Gee. Wait a second. It didn't catch it, did it? Yeah, it's not catching it now. That's strange. No, it's not working perfectly. For some reason, it's not. Wait a second. So it's counting. These are basically for each substep is running logic. Might be the substeps. Yeah, it might be. Maybe it's too many substeps. Let's see. Let's go back to 5. Well, actually, let me see how many substeps it's running, because it might be something might not be working correctly. Okay. 10 substeps, and 1 substep is for the profiler scene. So I think that's correct. Let's see, where's name? Okay, name. Okay, that time we caught it. So Okay, yeah, test scene 2, 10. Alright, so that's correct. Okay, so I feel like this is correct, substep wise. So, internally, yeah, we have an internal callback that gets called. We used to do this once per frame, but now we're basically tying that in with the physics engine when it advances forward a tick. So if it feels the need, like as far as I know, this is basically like the maximum number of substeps. So it might be like you set it to be 10 and it doesn't actually take all 10, not all the time at least. I'm not sure though. Actually, this is a good test. Let's test that out. So it's taking all of them, as you can see, it's printing each time value 10 times because this all the logic is running 10 times. But if we don't slow it down so that it has to take multiple steps, then maybe it will just print it once. Yeah, it does. Okay, that's pretty good. Pretty good. I think that's pretty good. So if we slow it down. That's pretty close. 3.89 versus 3.31. That's pretty good. So like the execution speed, 3.52. That's even better. The execution speed is solid. It's just about like sometimes the phys engine just can't like execute like that. Like it didn't detect the collision. So I'm not sure exactly what I can do about that. I mean, it might just be where I would need more substeps, basically. Because it just needs to simulate it better. So I would just have to do like 20 substeps or something. I mean, this is if like you're doing this particular like setup, which is very unlikely. Yeah, it caught it. Alright, so that's probably good enough. I do like that it's basically the maximum number, so like if you set this value to 20, but you don't slow the game down, then it won't take multiple substeps, and the logic will only execute once. Like that's okay. That's pretty good. Pretty good. Okay. Now I gotta test something really quickly. Actually, let's go back. How many substeps are there usually? Does it? Okay, it's 1. That's fine. That's good. So I think that's right. I would like to test animations. So this is going to be a quick little test. I think it shouldn't be too long. So I'm doing a quick little like animation test to see. Well, firstly, I guess there's a few things I need to test. Firstly, I need to test if you have an FPS value other than 60. Like let's say you're running at 200 FPS, but you have an animation running at 1 frame a second. Like how does that work out? Like does it actually, how does it play? And then on top of that, if you slow it down, does it still work? Like if you have a 60 FPS game, but it's slowed down to 30 FPS, does the 60 FPS animation still take, I guess it should still take a full second. Because you want it to play 60 FPS under the ideal of 60 FPS gaming. Overstroke Studios, hello. Thank you for joining us today. So currently, I screwed something up here. Currently, I'm trying to deal with like delta timing and stuff like that. So I got it working, I think, okay. I just need to do some stuff, some tests to see how it's working out. Let's get some music going, some different music. Excuse me. Let's get some Walk Around the Puzzle Block by Dread. There it goes. Lucretia says, I'm guessing it should work fine because Sprite Anim takes into account the delta time. Yeah, I think it should, but I just want to test it just to be sure. Rashad Z says, yo, hello. So yeah, hopefully it should work. Shouldn't be too hard to test real quick. Let's see, the issue we had here. Okay, I'm missing a right parentheses. Okay, let's see. Oh, I'm missing. I'm supposed to put one there. That's the one I'm missing. Okay. Anim.add string int and boolean. Okay, so we'll just do it like this. Wait. What was the issue? String int. Oh, I guess it's 30. Okay, I gotta look it up. Philippe Guirao says, greetings from, I hope I'm saying that right. He says, greetings from Brazil. Hello. Greetings. Okay, so we're adding a new animation name. Oh, sequence, that's what I'm doing wrong. Okay, 0. New int. And then we need the FPS. Okay. Alright. So the animation is not working correctly because we need to, I guess it's 24 by 24. I had 16 by 16 here. It's not 16 by 16 animation. There we go. Okay. So every second, it alters. Is that right? Let's get something a little more obvious. Yeah, okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, okay. Okay, so 4 frames or 6 frames a second. That means that every second he should basically repeat his animation. 1,000. Yeah. Okay. So that's correct. Every second he repeats that animation. Let's get rid of the physics visualization. Okay. Good. So this is a solid beginning of a test. Now what we need. Is that? Doesn't really seem like it's running at 60 FPS. Okay, there we go. Now it is. But then when the substeps were high, maybe it's just my imagination. Maybe it's just my imagination. All right. It seemed like it was like running slower. Like it's not. It wasn't smooth or something. I don't know. Okay, I'll have to test. Well, let's test something real quick. Let's switch this over. Oh, did I do something? Let's switch over to master, the vanilla version of BDX, to see if it actually like is fundamentally really different or what. What's this one? No such file. It's right here, isn't it? Yeah, okay. Okay. I'm not sure why this is tripping out right now. Okay, there it goes. Okay, that seems fine. Let's see. Okay, it seems like it's the exact same. Oh wait. Maybe this is part of it. Let's see. Seems like it might be choppier, but time might pass at the same rate. I'm not sure. Okay. Let's try going back to the way it was prior, because we still need to test it. Okay, so this dude is doing his animation. We don't need to print that out either. Now, what we're gonna do is run it at twice the speed and see if it still takes a full second. Seems like, yeah. Okay. Wait a second. This isn't like not a obvious walk cycle. I'm like, is it playing the full animation? Yeah, I think it is. Okay, I think it's just like I have two frames almost exactly the same. I should have had, yeah, okay. I should have had like numbers or something. Okay, well it seems to be working. All right, so let's try now. If you run it 120 FPS, it's running at 1 frame a second, or the animation per second, 6 frames a second. But now you go ahead and slow it down considerably. Now what will happen? Yeah, it's roughly the same. 80 FPS, yeah, okay. And if we raise the substeps, so that physics engine can kind of still deal with it. Huh, now logic is, oh yeah, that makes sense, okay. So, okay, so it's still working correctly. Alright, that's good. So this is what I think the creator of the engine was talking about when he said a spiral of death, because basically yeah, actually, okay. Okay. So it's making, if the FPS drops, that will force multiple substeps. So if the FPS drops for basically any reason, then that will force multiple substeps. So like there's only one substep going on at any given frame here because the FPS is running well. Where is it? I'm not sure how I feel about that. But you can see the time's the same, but once we raise the FPS, raise the substep and slow down the game, now logic's running multiple times and that just slows the game down further. So basically anything that lowers FPS, well, I guess it's only in a situation where it lowers the FPS beyond where the physics engine can kind of compensate. So if we don't lower the FPS, then I'm not sure how I feel about that. But I guess if we don't have substeps low, then it's the same as usual. So yeah. Yeah, I guess it's fine. Yeah, okay, it's fine. Because I was like worried, like, is this working correctly? Maybe it's gonna be bad, but yeah, I guess that's okay, because like you have a 60 FPS game, it's doing something heavy. You can see it's really weighing down logic heavily, but it's still running at 60 FPS. You keep the substeps up to 5, and it still is running at 60 FPS. So that's fine. So that basically it shouldn't like hurt an existing like kind of struggling game. Gearend's not struggling, but it could in theory kind of head in that direction. So the substep count doesn't really do anything for damaging the FPS. Okay, that's good. Because the substeps only kick in if the FPS drops below the point where the physics engine has to step in and do something. Okay. Alright, Lucretia says, I think this will help Gearend. It works fine on my PC, but on Mac, any FPS loss results in slowdown. Yeah. This should basically help any computer. If your PC, it doesn't slow down your PC, your PC's just stronger. Slash, your PC has a better graphics card. It seems like a lot of the people who are having issues with Gearend have like integrated graphics cards or something to that effect. If you have a dedicated graphics card, you'll probably be fine, but it seems like people who have integrated graphics cards are kind of having issues. I'm not sure exactly, but I'm pretty sure it has to do with GPU weight. It seems like a lot of people's issues are coming not from the render process, not from any of the existing subsystems, but rather from waiting on the GPU to finish its load, so to speak. Okay, so that seems to be working. We'll do a quick test with Mesh Anim, which is much the same, and then we'll move on. Let's see. Lucretia says, have you looked at Gearend through a profiler for memory leaks? Just curious. I do profile Gearend from time to time, especially when I'm trying to optimize it. I haven't found any memory leaks. As far as I could tell, it's just ordinary Java virtual machine memory indications, where it's allocating memory, and then after so much time, it clears out the cache, so to speak. It clears the memory that is allocated and starts over. It didn't seem to be anything that indicated a leak. It just kind of like a sine wave pattern, a saw wave pattern, not like a ramp where it's just a continuous like rise. It seems like it, kind of stays pretty stable. Okay, so this is going to be the mesh. We'll save this. A mesh that we're going to animate. Mesh anim. We don't need this. We don't need that. I don't know if we need that. Anim equals 0. No, it's 1, 2, 3. This should be basically the same. It should. Oh, it doesn't need this. And this... Overstroke Studios. I'm headed out. Just thought I'd pop by. Interesting stuff. Thanks. Thank you very much for stopping by. Always nice to have people stop by the stream. Oh, we don't need this. Oh, what's the int then? Pull this up. Okay. So that, okay. Forgot to name the last frame. Okay. Cool. So I think it should be working basically the same. Yeah. It's supposed to be running at 120 FPS, but it's slower, running at like 13, 14, but it's still running every frame. That's perfect. I mean, it's switching through the animation at the same rate. That's perfect. Great. Excellent. One last thing I need to test, which is making a new project. It should basically be flawless. We'll test it out. To make this easier, we're gonna run over here. There it goes. And put our test in there. It should be roughly the same, I think. Oh, there's no... That's fine. We don't need that. Let's grab the... Ah, I forgot to put the texture. Philippe Girau says, I just looked up for BDX on GitHub and it looks very promising. Are there plans to support Python? No problem with Java, just curious. No, there's not plans at the moment to support Python. The closest, because it's based on libgdx and uses Gradle and stuff, the closest we could do is probably Jython. It's something I would like to look into, personally, to see if it's possible and easy to support some sort of easy like switching button or something to allow Java, Jython, Scala, those other Java languages, in case you want to use them on your project. Like that would be a cool option to be able to say, oh, I want to, run my game in whatever other language and have that option. So that's something I would like to look into, and that's on the list of things to check out. But not really any formal plans. That's something that I would basically ask for in an issue, and kind of like maybe propose an idea of like how it could work, or like how much work it would be to add to the engine. Hopefully it wouldn't be too much. There we go. Don't need that. We don't need these because it's fundamentally the same. Okay, I think it should work. Let's see. 60 FPS. Oh, why is this taking so long to drop? No. Okay, this is definitely not working correctly. All right. Okay, that's because of the substeps. All right, that's to be expected. All right, that's right. It's because the substeps aren't high enough to deal with it. So let's see. 300 FPS, one substep should be fine. Yeah. Okay. Okay, I think that's right. Now, what we're gonna do is test higher substeps. Well, no, I guess there's no reason to test it. Yeah, it should be working. Not really a lot of reason to test it. Let's see. Yeah, it's not running quite right. It's because we're doing this to slow it down, and then Alright, should be working. Lucretia says, you can probably use Python for scripting, but it'd be a lot of work because you need to emit a lot of libgdx's API into Python. So that's the thing about Jython and other languages. Like the ones I basically was thinking about considering were ones that you wouldn't have to do a lot of like patching, like ones that basically allow you to use Java classes inside of those languages. I think Jython supports it. I think Scala supports it. I'm not sure about Kotlin. I have to look up certain languages, the abilities of certain languages, but I know that some are like, supposed to directly support Java classes in the language. And if so, and if it works ideally, then you would be able to just like plug BDX. It would be it should be easy to just like add a spinner or something here that says, oh, what language would you like to use, and be able to where you can select which one. Hopefully, that's like best case scenario. So hopefully it shouldn't force, or we shouldn't have to do things like tie libgdx's API or our API into another language, or do any bridges or anything like that. It should be where it's like an automatic thing because the classes are directly supported under the other language. Okay, so this seems to be working. Cool. So I don't really have any reason to test this with Gearend. Like I don't suspect this being an issue with Gearend, but we can still test it. Maybe there's going to be an issue that arises that we don't know about. Okay, so FPS 60, substeps is set to 1. I think that should be fine. Actually, I guess I should test out a higher substep. I'm thinking 3 might be good, because that will probably allow me 20 FPS minimum, which is probably fine. I'm doing stuff here that's relying on tick time, which isn't there anymore. Yeah. So I'm doing stuff in Gearend that requires tick time, which I take out because now we have a delta function that does that for us. So I'm going to go ahead and fix that real quick. I also think it would be a good idea to allow you to set the number of substeps for each scene. That'd be a nice function to add. Well, the use case I'm thinking of is like you're playing a golf game or something. I guess you wouldn't really need to do that, would you? Where it's like, I'm trying to think of a situation where you would need to set the physics substeps of the. Well, I guess it's public already, so you can just set it naturally. Yeah, okay, that's fine. So I guess we don't need to do it like that. Max substeps. Max substeps are set, yeah, down here. So that's fine. All right. Now let's go ahead and fix this real quick. All the areas that require bdx.tick time, we're gonna replace those. Well, let me actually commit what I have. I made quite a few changes. That didn't even work. Yeah, I should probably commit this. So I'm not sure if this is actually going to make it in. Well, it should make it in, but yeah, I guess it's fine. We'll just do it like this. All right, so we want to replace all bdx.ticktime with bdx.delta instead. Should be it. And we want to replace bdx.tickrate with bdx.target FPS. Actually, I guess I don't need to change tick the target FPS. Like I have to, wait a second. I have target FPS set here as an integer, but really it could be. It doesn't need to be like this. We could just have it be tick rate like it was. Like there's no reason why it has to be target FPS. Why it has to be called that. So we'll fix this. We'll just do it like this. That's fine. Okay, I think that might do it. Let's see if it at least loads. Okay, yeah, it does. Let's fix some stuff because there's no reason for us to have to sit through it with Cinematic. Okay. Alright, should be good. Also, I forgot. I have him printing some stuff out. We don't need to print that out anymore. Okay. Ah! Everything's heavier. Yeah, everything's heavier. Wow. Okay. So why is this happening? Let's see. It's running at the same rate. Also, why did that crash? Physics error. What? changes or different things I'm not expecting. Yeah, he's definitely, everything's heavier. Even the particle effects are heavy. Why is it crashing? That's strange. This doesn't do anything. It's just the substeps and the FPS. So let's see. Let's see. Alright. Particle main 68. I don't need to build this. Let's see. Also, this music it's time to change the music. Let's go for something else. Let's go for Blue DJ Cutman Mix by James Landino. Or I guess the DJ Cutman mix of Blue by James Landino. Okay. Strange. I thought, yeah, okay. It just, what in the world is going on? Why is color stage index ever -1? Oh, wait a second. Okay. Let's see. Color stage index is -1. So I guess it's just okay. I think I know what's going on. This is what I thought earlier. System dot bdx.time. So it must be no wait. Yeah, this is even worse actually. Because it seems like, yeah, there's certain frames where things are happening twice, but just those frames. Yeah. That's not good, but that's not really part of the reason why. Let's see. Okay, let's actually test something real quick. Yeah, let's print out that, and let's also print out the delta. So on the frames where the substep number kicks a new, like, let's see. Actually, let's do it like this. So, like, on certain frames, it kicks over a new, like, it executes logic twice, like this. Yeah, that's what I thought might happen. So on frames where it executes logic twice, or just multiple times because of substeps, the delta doesn't change. Wisdoms says, "Hey Solar Moon, really love the work you do and the pixel art. Thank you. I found your channel years ago through your pixel art tutorials because I was really into pixel art. Anyway, good luck on Gearend. Thank you very much." Thank you very much. Okay, yeah. So the delta doesn't change. Okay, I might have a quick, I might have an idea of what we can do. It's gonna be kind of hacky, but it might work. So the fundamental problem with this basically is the delta function for that we have is basically just getting libgx's delta time between the previous frame and the current frame. That's fine, but that only refreshes once a frame. So when we go over here and actually execute logic multiple times in a substep, the delta doesn't change. Delta doesn't change, which is weird because it seems like we should have seen like an issue with yeah, it seems like we should have seen an issue. Oh, but it uses time. That's right. I was thinking we should have seen an issue with the sprite anim and mesh anim because they use delta time, but they don't use the delta function. They use the BDX time variable. This. Okay. All right. Well, let's see. So maybe instead of delta, I could use time. So like in this situation where BDX.delta, like we basically, but that's the thing, I really don't want to execute any logic more than once. Even if I have multiple substeps, I only want one logic step. I simply never want to execute logic multiple times, so I'll have to kind of mess around with this a little more, I think. Okay, I'm gonna write down basically the two issues we have are. Let me get Gedit out or something. First issue is that logic executes multiple times, which isn't always wanted. Once for each substep. And then the second issue is that delta time is the same across multiple substeps, making it impossible really to use it because subsequent, if the physics engine is going to execute multiple substeps, then either subsequent, it does like the first logic step holds delta and then the other logic steps don't do any delta, so that like moving an object across the screen, you know, multiple substeps won't influence it. Yeah, I have to figure it out. Not really possible under certain circumstances. As delta time is the same across multiple substeps. Okay, well, I'll have to think about it. All right, I'm gonna have to revert these changes and go back. I should have made another branch. I didn't think about it. Should have made another branch. Oh, that's right. I changed this to be take time. All right. Okay, so, alright, now we can go back to master. Okay. So we should be good on that front. Now over here, I'm going to replace bdx.delta with bdx.tick time, I think. Oh no. All right, well I guess that's fine. I can salvage this. bdx tick time. Yeah. Okay. Why didn't it do it? Oh, we don't want to write this. There we go. Okay. Let's synchronize. Okay. And then I think we're good. Yeah, something like that. Keep doing that. We don't need to. I don't need to do it. Okay. What's this? Why does that have the Steam icon? I don't understand. Philippe Giroux says the first video I saw. Okay, better. Very good. Okay. The first video I saw was about pixel art 2. If I'm not wrong, it was about drawing the armadillo. I think this is the name of the thing. Yeah, that's correct. It wasn't an armadillo, as I recall. Yeah, cool to see people actually watching the videos. Okay. What? What's up with this? Man, I do not understand, like, somehow slowly, like, I just started, like, making holes in my map somehow. Like, things just started getting misplaced, I don't know, tiles started disappearing, and I'm just like, I'm so done. I'm so done with making these maps the way that I made them. Like, this is horrible. Man, this is absolute garbage. Okay, that's okay. It's okay to get tired. All right. So this is still playable. I have to look up look into this delta time issue, because it's not quite working the way I think it should, which is really a shame. I'm not sure exactly what we need to do. I have an idea, but I'm not sure if it's the right idea. And also for some reason, oh no, I guess that's, yeah, that's fine. For some reason, it sounded like really quiet. Ow. I gotta figure out what exactly to do in that situation once he jumps off the rightmost stair step. He needs to do something. Like, he comes down here and then, like, he gets stuck. I need to fix that. I guess a block actually would be good right around here, so that these guys can't come into each other's area. That probably would be a good idea. Why is it stuttering so much? Oh. Oh no. Computer. Computer, don't give up. Computer is not over yet. I'm not sure what, but something is like drastically draining my resources, which is strange because I specifically like maybe it's this guy, I don't know. Okay. Come on. Man, what is up with this thing? There we go. Jeez. Okay, sorry about that. Something was just like absolutely tanking my CPU. Alright, yeah, I gotta work on this delta time stuff. See if I can get something usable out of it. Okay, so in the meantime, I've been working on the progression, the sense of progression between, like, from place. Actually, maybe it's this. Okay, yeah, I've been working on my sense of progression from place to place, like which item you can get in which place and all that stuff. That's cool. Okay. So I think the hub zone is pretty much done. Let's see, comm zone. How's that looking? Oh yeah, I guess yeah, that's pretty. That's okay. I need to figure out what I want to put in this little room. I'm not sure exactly what I want. Maybe some kind of puzzle or something. I'm not sure. Maybe I could put a character in there or something. But what would they say? What's the point? I wanted kind of like a solution to a puzzle, I think. Yeah, I gotta figure out exactly what kind of puzzle. Yeah, okay. What kind of puzzle I want to put in here. Also, what were the things I wanted in here? In comm, I wanted sword, bazooka, and attack core. I have fans, shield, and arm bazooka. Okay, that's not the correct set of items. Let's see. Sword, bazooka, and attack core. So, bazooka. Maybe this we can have arms, and attack core. And over here, let's see. Hub, ruins. What do we want in ruins? So, skates, knife, ninja legs. Oh, but you need the fan. Where'd you get the fan? Okay, that's fine. Okay. So I think I'm pretty good at this point. I think it's like basically playable. Yeah. I think it's basically playable. Like the game's basically done at this stage. I need to play through it and like test it though. I also have at least one idea for 2 ideas for a couple new items, but just a limited amount of time and space. I gotta work on also I still have 2 things. Okay, I'm gonna write down things I need to add. Oh wait, I don't need to have this over here. And then also I need to add the item for the guy in the hub zone. I need to add a puzzle in the comm zone. Okay. So yeah, lots of stuff to do. Delta time stuff. I gotta figure out exactly what's going on. That's like pressing things I need to fix because it's just not working at the moment, and I feel like I need to fix it. Like I need to have that working before release. It's just not gonna work otherwise, I don't think. I mean, I don't. It's not necessary, but like it would be nice if if I could get it to work, if possible. That'd be nice. Okay, well, yeah, I think I'm gonna take a break. Alright, thank you very much for watching. I've been SolarLoon, and this has been a mostly engine design stream, working on BDX. Alright, thank you very much. See ya.